had a really smooth week at home with your children and with your own work that I know we're all trying to do from home. Welcome to my home. I wanted to be outside a little bit before it started raining, so Mr. Rabbitoy was very generous to me and let me do that. Happy Holy Week. This is a very important week, of course, in the church calendar, and a very different one this year. But hopefully you were able to see the offerings by the third graders, their washing of the feet video, which was just so beautifully done. You know, I thought it'd be, you know, a just okay substitute perhaps, but instead it was really a very moving tribute to the importance of this day. So I hope you get a chance to see it if you haven't already. I hope also that you got a chance to join us for Miss Wynn's live, Facebook Live and Google Meet time in the D-Lab this week as she taught us all how to make masks, 2 kinds of masks. If you didn't get a chance to see that, you can still see it on Facebook. It's posted there, and I think she did such a beautiful job, and we look forward to continuing to do some of those live events, and we think it worked really beautifully. And it was so fun to feel like I was in class with kiddos again as you all were interacting and asking questions and making comments. So we will definitely try to do that again. It was super fun. I hope that you have a wonderful Easter weekend. In the messenger today, Mrs. Roy and the Spiritual Life Committee are posting many different links to various ways to view Easter weekend services, Mass and Easter Vigil and Good Friday, Stations of the Cross, and those things that are so important in the life of our church calendar. So please look there for that. Lastly, you know, Miss Helmer is posting a really wonderful article that we found this week about kind of the experience of going through this time period in history. People keep using the word unprecedented. It's a little bit overused at this point, but I guess that's because there's no better word. It has been very interesting to lead at this time, working both with teachers and students, and in addition to you families, as we go through this period of self-isolation and remaining in our homes and being together as we are apart. It draws on a lot of different pieces for us. And so there's a lot of really interesting work out there right now about the fact that there's a lot of grieving going on during this time. And I think if you're mindful of your own feelings and your children's feelings, it's been interesting for me to see that I think in general we kind of all went through a little bit of a dip here in this last week, that the seriousness and longevity of this is kind of settling in. And so for some that's been really hard, and you might notice sadness in your kiddos, you might notice sadness in yourself. You might notice that looks like anger or being snappy or having a really large reaction to something that you might not normally have. Be mindful of those things. They are all okay, and we are going to get through them. You know, I always tell children and students that the feelings are not good or bad. They are just feelings. It's what we do when we're having those feelings that can lead to good choices and bad choices. So, you know, living as closely as we are, as much as we are right now with our nuclear families, Easter weekend is a really nice time to do some reflection and rejuvenation of relationships if there have been some rougher moments, like I'm sure we've all had, but also being reflective of our own feelings. You know, it's part of the article that Miss Helmer is sharing today. There's a wonderful line in it which I've used with my own children as I've watch them grow, and that is that our attitudes are always our own choice, that no matter what is going on, we have a choice in how we respond. And something my teachers and I talk about often is when things are rough, or maybe it's a more tired time of year or a more busy time of year, really being mindful and taking a step back to remember that I want to feel proud of how I went through something. So those have been my thoughts this week, and if they're helpful, I'm glad to share them with you. But I hope that you will take advantage of the wonderful articles and words of wisdom that Ms. Helmer shares. I hope you'll take advantage of the links and resources that Mrs. Roy and the Spiritual Life Committee are sharing. And I hope you'll continue to engage with us in all the ways that we are getting better and better at hosting so that we can be together apart. So I wish you the very happiest of Easters. I hope it's a wonderful weekend for you and your family. We can't wait to be back together, but until then, go Sabres.
Mom, what's for lunch?
I'm busy, can't you see?